Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig. You probably thought I was going to say Cyndaquil, didn't you? Well, no, because thanks to Pokemon Legends CA, these two Johto Starters can either be paired with Tepig or Cyndaquil and work as a full set of official starters. And that's left me and many other fans very confused. On top of this, Chikorita and Tepig are considered to be some of the worst starter Pokemon of all time by a large majority of fans. So seeing them together as the two of the options is not only causing Totodile songs to go up, but it's also causing a huge amount of disappointment from fans around the globe. But I don't think that part is for the worse. In fact, I think it's a good thing that Chikorita and Tepig are here as starters. It's Totodile that in my eyes is the problem here. And we're going to talk about why that is and all the different reasons as to why Game Freak may have decided to pick these three starters. So I know that most people would say that, worst case scenario would have been Chikorita, Tepig, and Popplio. But let me make this clear. I think Chikorita is a great starter. I think Popplio is a great starter. I think Totodile is a great starter. Tepig, it's a little, questionable. I think Tepig is still cool regardless. I'm not actually, I would use the Tepig. I've used Tepig before. So I don't have a problem with any of the Pokemon chosen. For me, the primary issue is just why would you have two Johto starters and then one Unovan starter? It doesn't make any sense. Because now, Chikorita and Totodile will always be like together, in people's minds. Always. And I don't think we've ever had a situation in which two starters outside of Pikachu and Eevee are seen so closely tied in together. Even with Red Blue or Fire Red Leaf Green, it doesn't happen. That Blastoise and Charizard are seen as so synonymous. No, when you think of Blastoise Charizard, you think of Venusaur next. Okay, now it's a situation where you think of Meganium for Alligator, you're gonna think of, or okay, maybe not Meganium for Alligator, depending on whether they get regionals or not. But you think of Chikorita, Totodile. Now it's like, who are you gonna add there? Who are you gonna add? You could technically have both Tepig and Cyndaquil there and have Chikorita and Totodile in the middle, Cyndaquil on the left or the right, cut it off somewhere, and then depending on how you need to slide the image, that's the type of starter trio that you get. So I'm not a big fan of that. But between the lot, Totodile is my favorite, okay? But I think Totodile is the biggest problem. As I was saying earlier, Popplio probably would have been worst case scenario for many people. And we got 2/3 of the worst case scenario. But honestly, Chikorita, Tepig, Popplio would have been a better trio because hear me out, okay? First of all, I love Primarina. Great Pokemon, all right? So there's no problem for me there. And in fact, Feraligatr is one of my favorite starters. I really love Feraligatr, so why am I bashing on Totodile? The thing here is, I think because it's Legend CA, right? And these Pokemon have the potential to not only get regional forms, but also Megas. I think it's a good thing that we have Chikorita and Tepig, because Kalos is a prime time to give them major upgrades. And I think that's the main reason as to why they were chosen. There's a lot more to talk about than just this, but I think it's to give them a power boost, because everyone has been complaining, why would they say no Snivy, no Piplup, when they're the obvious French choices, and opt for the weaker, more unpopular starters? It's probably to give them a popularity boost, whereas in X and Y, they tried to give the more popular starters a power boost. Here, it's the opposite scenario, where they're trying to give the weaker starters a power boost, which honestly makes a lot more sense. Mega should have been used in that regard, instead of overpowering the already overpowered Pokemon. Again, they could also have the opportunity for regional forms, which I would hope would be the case for any Legends game moving forward. It seems like we're going to have more Legends games moving forward. So in that sense, they didn't have to rush it. But maybe there's something coming in the future that we don't know about. Maybe it has to do with champions, because Pokemon Champions is a thing. Maybe they just want to have these starters be viable to some degree. Who knows? So I think Mega Meganium or Mega Emboar or Mega Regional Meganium, Mega Regional Emboar, they could slap. And I guess so can Feraligatr. I guess everyone's been complaining that, these guys need dual typings, or the Johto starters, right? Need dual typings, or they need something else to them. So this is their way of fast tracking it. But if they had Popplio doesn't need a power boost, honestly. It doesn't. It's one of the strongest starters in the game. People don't understand that, but it really is. Primarina is so strong. But regardless, it would have given a nice diversity, is the thing. It like, and see, the starters that we got in Legends ZA and Legends Arceus, it's only been Unova, Johto, and Alolan starters. So it would have worked out if they just wanted to focus on these Pokemon. Because they can't, like, they have to give Snivy, and now, oh my god, the next set of starters is going to be Snivy, Litten, Poplio. It's Jover. It's Jover. Because that would clear all the Pokemon to get regional forms. It's okay, it's okay. You get it. I'm a little tired. All right. I haven't slept all day, all night. I had an overnight party. Okay. But no, dang it. They just ruined the next set of starters. I know what they are. It's literally Snivy, Litten, Poplio. That's a banger set, by the way. It's a banger set, but I still don't like the concept of having 2 starters. See, Totodile is only a problem because Chikorita needed a buff, Tepig needed a buff. Totodile, it needs a buff, but in terms of popularity, it doesn't, because, it's not in the same ranking as Chikorita and Totodile. Chikorita and Tepig. I get Totodile is still not popular per se, but it's not unpopular. Whereas Chikorita and Tepig are unpopular. Another starter like Poplio would have helped in that regard, because though Poplio is strong, it's unpopular. Even if they wanted to be those people and bring in like Sobble, it would have worked out. But I think maybe they're not trying to delve into like other generations besides Unova, Alola, and Johto. But hey, man, I don't know. It was a weird mix. I just don't like having 2 of the same. Totodile is my favorite between the 3, okay? But I think Totodile should have gone. I'm still picking Totodile, don't get me wrong. But I think Totodile should have gone. I also partially think maybe they needed to put Chikorita and Totodile together with a different fire starter so that they could get away from the Typhlosion allegations. But the Typhlosion allegations are all fake, man. It was all mistranslated. People still don't get that. The damage is done. But that's also a possibility. They just wanted to do that to get rid of to divert attention from these 2. But hey, I'm pretty saddened. I'm pretty saddened. If they had Chikorita, Tepig, and any other water starter, I would have been chilling. Squirtle, Mudkip, Piplup, not Oshawott. Anybody, we can't do Froakie. Anybody else, okay? Anybody else. I would have been big chilled, but this one, it's a little bit of a downer. I can't lie. We also can't ignore like possible future projects. I'm not talking about like Snivy, Litten, Poplio as a trio. I'm saying if for some reason they need to expedite like the Johto Starters getting regional forms or something, makes sense as to why they picked them here. But I don't know, because now I'm looking at Hisui and Typhlosion, Kalosian, Meganium, Kalosian for Alligator. Regardless, and is Typhlosion gonna get a Mega? Is Hisui and Typhlosion gonna get a Mega? I don't think so. I seriously doubt it. Because if you give Hisui and Typhlosion a Mega, now it's okay, do I give Hisui and Decidueye and Hisui and Samurott the Mega? And if I do that, what about the other Alolan and with the one other Unovan starter, It's like, I don't know, it's all so confusing. But there might be another internal reason as to why they wanted to speed up the forms for the starters, if we're even getting forms, which I'm sure we are. But man, it's a big sad. I also don't think we should expect to know these typings so easily. Like, I think everyone's expecting Grass Fairy, Meganium, Water Dragon. For Alligator, probably like, what do we got? Does anything go like maybe like Fire Steel Emboar? Like they're actually most people are probably expecting like Fire Dark or Fire Ground or something for Emboar. But I think that Meganium will be Grass Dragon, and for Alligator will be something else, maybe like Water Fighting, Water Dark, Water Ground. I don't know, and then Emboar will be something we have to see. But I don't think it's gonna be so obvious. At least maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just typical Grass Fairy, Water Dragon stuff. And then Emboar's like Fire Steel. That would be pretty cool. But we'll have to wait and see. I do think all 3 starters are very charming in the game. Like, I do like that. It seems fun to use them in battle and just fun to see them walk around and all this stuff. But I can't get over it, man. I can't get over it. 2 Johto starters and 1 Unovan starter. 2 Johto starters, bro. The merch, the promotions is gonna be crazy. Poor Cyndaquil's just been left out, man. I can't get over it. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. Not only did the explosion allegations come out this year, but Cyndaquil has also gotten cut, dog. My heart breaks. My heart breaks for this fictional character. And like the damage is done. I don't think they could ever backtrack on this. I suspect this to be a blemish that will last probably forever. Unless they double down on this, which they might, with Snivy, Lit, and Poplio. But, hey, we'll see. I still don't see why they couldn't have just gone Chikorita, Tepig, Poplio. And then done Snivy, Litten, Totodile for the next games. That set would have been so cool. Snivy, Tepig, Snivy, Litten, Snivy, Litten, and Totodile. Oh my god, would have been a banger set. But anywho, I think more will be revealed to us as time goes on. We'll understand things better. But for me, honestly, I don't know how I can get over this. I don't know how I can get over this. I'm picking Totodile regardless, but Totodile should not have been there. That's where I stand. I'm happy that Chikorita and Tepig are here. I'm happy they get a chance to redeem themselves. I'm happy they get a chance to do better in battle and, you know, get power-ups and buffs and megas and all this. Just think could have done without the water one. That's all. That's all for me. But I think everyone should be excited. If anyone wants to see Chikorita or Tepig in a new light, or rather Meganium and Emboar, this is the time. This is the time to see it. So yeah, it's not a bad thing that these guys are starters. It's just a little confusing. Just a little, why? Why did this happen? That's all.